What does Retatrutide do? Well, in this video, what if Retatrutide wasn't designed for obesity at all? What if you could look at it through a different lens and see that it has capabilities of protecting your muscle, your heart, and your brain in very unique ways? I'm going to show you what Retatrutide does as a metabolic overrider and as something that can help calm down inflammation, increase mitochondrial biogenesis, and give you the freedom that you're looking for when it comes to your future health. So by the end of this video, you'll learn about Retatrutide, how this triple agonist may be what nobody's talking about, the longevity secret we've all been looking for. So let's jump in. I'm Regan Archibald, founder of Ageless Future, and we believe that health is a foundational freedom that each of us needs to actively work towards. A lot of people, they have this thing like, freedom isn't free. Well, that's our statement when it comes to health. And so ideally, these videos, I make them so that you can learn how to leverage the future technologies and innovations in medicine today. And so Retatrutide is the big one. And they just made a huge announcement of their Triumph 4 studies. And I'm going to go through those very quickly. And so for those of you who don't know what this novel triple agonist drug is, it's produced by Eli Lilly. It's not yet available on the market. So when it comes out, I want you to be very excited about it, but I also want you to know that you're going to have choices. And so here's the Triumph 4, the efficacy results. First of all, the 12 milligram dose, which is the highest dose, you've heard me talk about it on other videos, people lost approximately 71.2 pounds. So that is crazy, 28.7% of body weight. Now, granted, almost 20.9%, nearly 21% of people dropped out of the study because they didn't want to lose any more weight. And at that high of a dose, I don't blame them. That's a very high dose. I mean, the 9 milligram dose, this is weekly injections. The average weight loss was 26.4% of their overall body weight. And then the placebo, their average weight loss was 2.1%. So think about that just alone. So if you're losing that kind of volume of body weight, what's happening in the body? And that's where we want to talk about, what does this triple agonist do? Well, we call this a GLP-3 or the GLP-3R. And the fascinating thing is it does work on that GLP-1 pathway that turns off some of the noise in the brain, the food chatter that we're all familiar with if you're human, but it's got a much smaller pulse than maybe semaglutide, very much less than semaglutide on the GLP-1 pathway, less than tirzepatide. So you still have the appetite, but then you have this overactive GIP, so the gastroinhibitory polypeptide, which helps stabilize blood sugar. So you get this nice stability in blood sugar, so your energy is not going up and down and up and down. It's usually when the energy crashes, like after you eat it. Let's say you ate a donut and coffee for breakfast. Hopefully you didn't. If you're watching this channel, I'm doubtful. I'm sure you ate, like you ladies ate your protein first thing in the morning, you got your 30 grams, went and exercised, you dudes exercised, and then had protein after your workout, and you're feeling like a boss. But in case you didn't do that, that blood sugar crash is where the hunger comes in. And that's really nice when you've got this GIP to stabilize it. But the interesting thing that Eli Lilly and their research team did is they found that if they stack glucagon with it, glucagon, it's the accelerator for keeping blood sugar stable in your body. So insulin is a sleepy molecule, sleepy hormone. You want your pancreas to produce it only when there's excess sugar. You want it pulled into that cell as quickly as possible. You do not want sugar circulating in your blood. You certainly don't want it in your kidneys. The kidneys are your foundation for longevity. But what glucagon does in the liver is it keeps the blood sugar nice and stable. And so when you activate glucagon, you also activate the energy systems in your body. So you can literally have the same kind of metabolic benefits as if you're exercising. And then you get these mitochondrial biogenesis, so the energy packets inside of the cell start to turn on. And this overrides the entire software. So your body, instead of being this sluggish where, I don't know if you remember on first versions of your iPhone or whatever phone you use, and then you update the software, suddenly things start working faster. And that's what glucagon does, where you have more energy expenditure. You have a higher energy expenditure, which means you're going to have more energy, which is why I believe this will be one of the biggest breakthroughs of our time. And then what happens when you clean up the metabolic pathway, this is why they're considering using the term for the first time ever at a big pharma. The term is called longevity. And so, wow. And I know that's why we watch it. That's what we're trying to create, is an ageless future. And there's things that you want to do and be aware of when it comes to Retatrutide, or this triple agonist. Here's the second thing they found in the study. Okay, so number one, we know it's more robust than anything we've ever seen. It's like the equivalent of getting bariatric surgery. I mean, this is phenomenal as far as what it could do to a society that's been burdened by really crappy food, a lot of chemicals, a lot of fake foods with emulsifiers. So they feel good in your mouth, they activate the right taste buds. Maybe they put a little MSG in there, and so your insulin's spiking all the time. And they really made us fatter and sicker. And so this is the beautiful way to circumvent that while we're hopefully fixing the food. And while you guys are making the choices, it's really up to you as far as the foods go, but make sure you're getting good sources of protein from, grass-fed beef. I grew up on a cattle ranch in Idaho, so yes, I am very keen towards beef or the ruminants, your red meat, your elk, your deer. Those are going to be so good for you. And these ruminants, they've got 4 stomachs. So they handle a lot of removing some of that garbage and arsenic that you get from chicken. So I won't go on too far of a tangent because I really want to talk about the second point, which is osteoarthritis pain relief. So if you think of what is the most costly thing to your future health, it's pain. And if you have pain in the knees, which the knees are one of the first systems to start to degenerate and age, and many of you're 40 or 50, and you want to still play pickleball like a boss, you want to go and dunk the basketball, you want to ski, you want to snowboard. I was talking to a client yesterday, and he's like, you know what? I think this is the first year in about a decade I'm going to ski. My knees feel great. Our doctors have been using regenerative medicine to reactivate some of the healing and stem cell proliferation in his knees. He's doing awesome. So, but here's what they found with Retatrutide. Retatrutide reduced knee pain by an average of 75.8%, or 4.5 points on the WOMAC pain scale. Notably, 12 to 14% of participants on Retatrutide were completely free of knee pain by week 68, compared to 4.2% on placebo. And then the third thing they found is the cardiovascular benefits. So at the highest dose, the 12 milligram dose, participants saw 14-point reduction in their systolic blood pressure. So the systolic is that compressive. It's the amount of pressure in your blood vessels when the heart's contracting. And then the diastolic, the lower number, is the volume pressure in your blood vessels when the heart's relaxed. So here's the problem though. At the higher dose, people had massive side effects, gastrointestinal issues, nausea, they had diarrhea, vomiting. 34% ended up with diarrhea, 43.2% with nausea. And then a new safety signal was just found, which is called dysesthesia. And that's where you get these unpleasant skin sensations. So this occurred in 20% of the people on the higher dose. And so, it was 20.9% of the participants got the unpleasant skin sensations, whereas it was 18.2% had excessive weight loss. So I mentioned, I got those numbers reversed earlier. So just so you know, 18.2 said, I don't want to lose any more weight. I want to get off this. In general, if you think about this, this is why compounding pharmacies are so important, because the dosing can be very accurately prescribed to your condition. So that's where in our physician-led peptide programs, we have only used compounding pharmacies, these licensed compounding pharmacies that have just as much scrutiny as the pharmaceutical companies who are making these massive scale drugs, and you on the higher dose because there's a higher reimbursement. In the new model, and the medicine that you have the freedom to take action on is working with a compounding licensed pharmacy, working with a physician-led team. Our nurse practitioners, our physician assistants, our medical team is world-class. And they're the ones that can help you dial in exactly what you need based on your blood work. So for those of you who love this video, you want to go deeper, go to agelessfuture.com. It all starts by getting your blood work ran, and then you can work with our medical team to figure out what protocol is going to be best for you based on your health goals. I'm Regan Archibald. I'll see you on the next video.